It's fight week for the first major fight of the year between David Benavidez and David Morrel, and it's been as fierce as we could ever imagine, as the two Davids almost came to blows. If the new year begins on this note for boxing, then we wonder how the rest of the year would look like. There was no love lost between red-hot light heavyweight boxing rivals David Benavidez and David Morrel, who came to blows Tuesday just before they swapped slugs for pay in a pro fight when they headlined one of the best cards already scheduled for 2025 on the 1st of February at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. But considering how Benavidez and Morrel feel about one another and the hostilities that have already erupted, most fans will no doubt be tuning in for a main event that is promising to be explosive. For Benavidez and Morrel, it all kicked off during a media workout in Miami as each fighter needed no second invitation to escalate their animosity towards one another. It's unclear what started it all, but Benavidez was the first to lay his hands on Morrel as he shoved his opponent pretty hard right on the chest. Morrel responded by taking his WBA championship belt and launching it at his rival. Speaking to reporters after the incident, Benavidez said in footage Fight Hub TV aired, "I tried to shake his hand, be cool, last press conference. We had trash talking, but then after we were shaking hands and stuff. So I was expecting the same thing. It's my birthday today, so I didn't want to get too aggressive. No cake." I tried to shake his hand and he kept running his mouth and I wouldn't let anyone disrespect me like that. I don't know who this guy thinks he is, thinks he's the hardest person on this planet, and I'm going to beat the hell out of him.
I don't need anybody here, bro. Only you and me. Only you and me. Only you and me. Only you and me. Only you.
David Benavidez has long held a reputation as a feared competitor in boxing, earning the boogeyman moniker for his dominance in the ring. However, his upcoming fight against David Morrel promises to be more than just another bout, it's personal. Scheduled for February 1st at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, this highly anticipated showdown has been building for years, with Morrel relentlessly calling out Benavidez. Morrel, undefeated with an 11-0 record and 9 knockouts, is confident he can dismantle the World Boxing Council interim champion. However, Benavidez has his sights set on more than just a win.
You know, first of all, I try to shake his hand. You know what I mean? I try to be cool. Because last press conference, you know, we had did the talking.
I'm gonna make an example out of him for the rest of the light heavyweight division to see that I'm not playing with anybody, Benavidez declared during an episode of Gloves Off on Premier Boxing Champions. Morrel's rise through the ranks has been impressive, securing titles at both 168 and 175 pounds. His recent victory over Radivoje Kalidzic showcased his technical prowess and devastating power, but Benavidez is determined to prove he's on a different level. Known for his aggressive style and knockout power, Benavidez has vowed to deliver a performance that will cement his dominance in the division.
After he was cordial, we were shaking hands and stuff, so I was just expecting the same thing. It's my birthday today, so I didn't really want to get too aggressive.
Yeah, gotta go get some cake later.
Despite the trash talk and bold predictions, Benavidez isn't just focused on winning. He wants to send a message. Anything short of a decisive victory would leave him dissatisfied. "If I don't make him quit or knock him out, I'll be disappointed in myself," Benavidez stated. Fans at the T-Mobile Arena can expect fireworks as these two fighters meet in the ring. Benavidez has promised an explosive performance, warning fans not to sit too close due to the bloodshed he predicts. For both fighters, this bout represents more than just a win or loss. It's a defining moment in their careers. With the light heavyweight division watching closely, Benavidez and Morrel are set to leave it all in the ring in a fight that could reshape the weight class.
Keep it down, no cake. But I tried to shake his hand, kept running his mouth. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna let nobody disrespect me like that. You know, especially
Will Morrel's confidence pay off? Or will Benavidez prove once again why he's one of boxing's most feared competitors? The answer unfolds on February 1st in Las Vegas. In the ever-evolving world of boxing, discussions about potential matchups never seem to slow down. One such fight that has garnered significant attention is the February 1st, 2025 showdown in T-Mobile Arena, Las Vegas between David Benavidez and David Morrel. This is because both fighters have established themselves as elite contenders in the super middleweight division, each with unique qualities that have earned them a strong following.
I don't know who this guy thinks he is. He thinks he's the hardest person in the planet, so I'm gonna beat the fuck. And there's nothing else really left to say. You know what I mean? He's a great fighter, yes, but I'm gonna make all these great fighters look average.
As this fight looms, many boxing fans are eager to know the opinions of the sport's top fighters. Both Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev have recently shared their remarks, shedding light on how they view the fight. Both champions shared their respect for the fighters involved, but their thoughts were carefully nuanced, reflecting their understanding of boxing's unpredictability and the evolving dynamics in the ring. In the interview, they were seen answering some questions regarding the upcoming clash between David Benavidez and David Morrel, where both Dmitry Bivol and Artur Beterbiev were somewhat hesitant to make concrete predictions. Bivol, who has sparred with Benavidez in the past, acknowledged his respect for both fighters, but he chose to refrain from picking a clear winner. "I don't wish to fight David Morrel," Bivol explained, expressing a more neutral stance on the matter. However, he recognized Morrel's ability, noting that he had heard a lot about him and believed the 11-0-9 knockouts boxer to be a very skilled fighter. "When the fight happens, I will watch," Bivol added, indicating his interest in seeing how the bout unfolds rather than making an outright prediction. Artur Beterbiev, on the other hand, also refrained from offering a firm opinion on the outcome. "I don't know," the 21-0-20 knockouts fighter said when asked who he thought would win the fight. What's clear from both champions is that Benavidez and Morrel represent two very different challenges. The monster Bandera Roja, known for his offensive pressure, speed, and power, is a formidable opponent with a proven track record. With the contest now set for Saturday, Garcia is already looking forward to what he believes would be one of the greatest fights today. That's going to be another one that the boxing world's going to be waiting for, just like we were waiting for Bivol versus Beterbiev, Garcia said in an interview with Fight Hub TV. "I think that another is going to be just as good or even better."
How does that fight go?
It's gonna be sick. See, those are the fights that need to happen, man. Those are the fights that the world wants to see. You know, I was talking about Bam.
Arizona's Benavidez made his debut at 175 pounds 4 months ago against Alexander Gvozdyk of Ukraine, recording a 12-round decision win and annexing the WBC interim light heavyweight belt in the process. Benavidez was forced to move up in weight following Canelo Alvarez's decision to defend his unified International Boxing Federation, World Boxing Council, and World Boxing Organization belts against last May. However, the Arizona native could land himself a shot at Artur Beterbiev's undisputed light heavyweight title if he's able to go past Cuba's Morrel. Garcia expects an action-packed fight between the two young fighters.
So they don't really know, but he's the real deal. Experience and all that. I gotta go with Benavidez.
Can't wait for that one. Honestly, whatever we get, I think it's going to be exciting. This is going to be an insta fight. It's going to be a war. This will be a fight that's going to have everybody screaming and on their feet, jumping because there's going to be a fight full of action. Benavidez recently moved up to 175 pounds and beat Alexander Gvozdyk in June to win the WBC interim light heavyweight title, putting him firmly in line for a shot against Beterbiev. Top trainer Robert Garcia has now given his take on the potential matchup, telling 210 Boxing TV that he feels both Benavidez and Morrel would be capable of dethroning Beterbiev. "I think either one. I can't say who's going to win between Benavidez and Morrel because it's a really good fight. It'll be a better fight than what we've just seen. Even though we've seen a good fight, it was more of a when's that moment coming."
They both move up to a division where they're chasing the big fights and now they're fighting each other. That's just fucking badass, man. That's gonna be a sick ass.
Bivol kept to his plan. Beterbiev kept pressuring, but most of the punches didn't seem like they were too powerful. I see Benavidez or Morrel competing and maybe even beating either one of them. They're both more real F-King fighters. They'll put up a great fight. It's hard to pick a winner. Whoever wins between them two will put up a good fight against either one of those guys. All four of those are in a good position to fight each other. before a potential Beterbiev versus Benavidez fight could happen, there may first have to be a rematch between Beterbiev and Bivol, and Beterbiev's promoter Bob Arum has broken his silence on how things unfolded in the undisputed fight.
It's still a fucking good fight. That'll be a good fight, a fight that I would like to watch.
Because, you know, a lot of fights, right, we want these fights, they don't get made. Yeah. But this fight is like getting made almost early. Like
2024 has not been a sensational year for PBC, as the promotional company has only been able to put on 4 pay-per-view events and is reportedly in a $900 million debt. So this fight could not have come at a better time for the company. This bout promises to be a showstopper, and the addition of an exciting undercard has fans buzzing with anticipation. Many are hopeful that this event could help PBC reclaim its status as a powerhouse in boxing promotions. The event will be broadcast by Amazon Prime Video PPV. Fans have been expecting and hoping for a fight between David Benavidez and David Morrel for a long time now. Benavidez posted on his Instagram an image of the fight poster while noting, "It's official February 1st at the T-Mobile Arena. Both undefeated former super middleweight contenders have been on a tear and have the chance to challenge the undisputed light heavyweight champion Artur Beterbiev in the future."
Morrel hasn't adjusted to being a professional fighter all the way. He's a good professional fighter. He's skillful.
A win here will bolster their chances of a title fight in the light heavyweight division. Ironically, not long ago, both Benavidez and Morrel were the top 2 contenders in the super middleweight division and were in line to challenge Canelo Alvarez's undisputed title. But after being denied a shot by the Mexican superstars multiple times, both of them made the jump and are now ready to try their luck in a new division. The 29-0 boxer won the interim World Boxing Council Championship back in June and looks like he is tired of waiting for a title shot. A win here will put him in a prime position to challenge the winner of the planned rematch between Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol sometime next year.
Through the fire. The only fire Benavidez ain't been through was the Canelo fire. You know what I mean? But everything that you can go through in boxing, getting knocked down, getting back up, finishing guys late.
Fans are evidently excited about this fight. They have also predicted a comeback of the PBC with this PPV event, which also features a few high-profile matchups on the undercard. A fan wrote, "Great fight. Way to take on the hard fight that no one else wanted. Vamos Benavidez," stating his excitement about the fight. Morrel has been a rising star in boxing after making his debut back in 2019. Several boxers at 168, including Canelo Alvarez, had been reluctant to take him on. That is why the Cuban boxer, like Benavidez, made his jump to 175, and it looks like he is getting the fights he always wanted now.
He did all that. Morrel, this is going to be something new for him. It's going to look good for Morrel first 3 rounds, but it's going to get bad for Morrel after that. I'm telling you, it's going to get bad. That rate is going.
It looks like Benavidez' wife, Karina Silva, also couldn't contain her excitement as she wrote, "I can't wait, te amo," rooting for her husband. The pair has been together since 2019, and Silva has always been ringside for Benavidez' fight. It looks like she won't be missing this one as well. Another Benavidez fan wrote, "Let's go champ, running over any obstacle these haters put," stating how this fight will get the 27-year-old closer to a title shot. A win here will push Benavidez' ranking, making him the mandatory challenger for both the World Boxing Association and World Boxing Council titles. Another user wrote, "I thought they said PBC doesn't make good matches or put in good boxing fights. Apologies are needed ASAP."
He a setup artist, Cuban fighter, setup artist. He like to look for his shots and sting you and get out of there. But if he hurt you, he'll stay on your ass. This is the thing. He ain't seen nobody big as Benavidez. He ain't been in there with that, with that type of hand speed.
It was visible that the fan was tired of the constant criticism that the PBC was getting and thought that this fight would get them back on track. Another fan, impressed with the undercard, wrote, "Fight card of the year." Reportedly, the undercard of the event includes World Boxing Council featherweight champion Brandon Figueroa defending his title against former champion Stephen Fulton in the co-main event.
It was looking like David Benavidez was going to be a valuable option. He was saying that he was going to face you.
Right.
You were saying that a deal wasn't done yet.
Right.
Do you think that deal can get done in 2025 after the Morrel bout?
Absolutely.
Respected trainer and analyst Teddy Atlas explained to Fight Hype exactly what makes the bout so intriguing. "That's an interesting fight. It's a very dangerous fight for both guys. It's two guys in there with their futures in front of them, and they're both taking a big risk. That's what makes this fight so special.
The Benavidez fight fell through.
The Benavidez fight didn't fall through from on my end because I believe.
They're taking a risk when a lot of fighters wouldn't. They'd say, no, I'm waiting for a bigger fight. Not a bigger fight as far as danger, but as far as a payday.
Fight, but wow, that is an interesting fight. And you know why it's interesting? It's a dangerous fight for both guys. Number one, very dangerous fight. Both of them were terrific amateurs, undefeated as pros. I mean, Morrel comes from the legendary Cuban national team.
A guy like Morrel, not a lot of fighters at this stage of their career would go and take on a dangerous fight like Benavidez. And Benavidez, give him credit too. He didn't get the Canelo fight and was right in line for the winner of Bivol Beterbiev. What does he do? Does he sit around? No, he takes this one. I'm really curious about that fight. David Benavidez' father, Jose Benavidez SR, says he wants undisputed light heavyweight champion Artur Beterbiev if they successfully defeat World Boxing Association regular champion David Morrel in their fight on January 25th.
That's what makes this fight so special. Their talents, their undefeated records, what's at stake, right? All of that. But that they're taking a risk when a lot of the fighters wouldn't. They'd say, no, I'm going to wait for a bigger fight. I'm going to, not a bigger fight as far as danger, but a bigger fight as far as maybe a payday or, whatever it could be.
Jose SR thinks Beterbiev would be a good fight for Benavidez. He'd also like Dimitri Bivol for his son because it would give him the opportunity to defeat someone who beat Canelo Alvarez in 2022. Jose SR is still bitter that Canelo chose not to fight Benavidez all these years and then recently mentioned an asking price of $200 million to fight him. If Bivol loses the rematch with Beterbiev, it won't be worth fighting him. Artur Beterbiev will be the guy that Benavidez will be fighting if he defeats Bivol in their rematch in 2025. The second fight still hasn't been confirmed, but it's likely to. The worst nightmare for Benavidez would be Beterbiev losing the rematch with Bivol and then the two fighters meeting in a trilogy.
And I told Morrel, I like Morrel. He's a great fighter, super talented fighter, very dangerous fighter. I told him, dude, the fight is going to happen. But I don't make those decisions,
Benavidez would have to wait for the third fight to happen between those guys before he'd get a crack at the belts. David's next fight is David Morrel. Everyone is super excited about it. We've been trying to make that fight for 3 years, but I believe David Morrel needed a little more experience to show the world that he deserves this fight, said Jose Benavidez SR to ProBox TV about David Benavidez fighting Cuban David Morrel next on January 25th. Obviously, Team Benavidez hasn't been trying too hard to make the fight with Morrel for the last 3 years because they've been the ones that have ignored him. If they had wanted the fight with Morrel, it would have happened a long time ago. They waited until now, after Morrel's unimpressive performance against Radivoje Kaladzic on August 3rd at the BMO Stadium in Los Angeles, before they decided they wanted to fight him.
Called Al Heyman and he said, hey, I want Morrel. And my respect for David for getting that fight and making it happen. And I'm super excited for that fight. It's going to be a...
David called him and said, hey, I want to make this fight. Let's make it happen. It got made right away. I'm super excited about fighting a young talent, a strong fighter, and I think it's going to be a tough fight, said Jose SR about how the fight with Morrel was finally made. Hopefully, we can get an opportunity to fight Beterbiev. He just won on Saturday. So hopefully, we can get that. But right now, we're focused on David Morrel. We have to look impressive in order to go to the next level, said Benavidez SR. A fight between Benavidez and Morrel has long been propagated by fans, with both having been interim champions at super middleweight in recent years before moving up to the light heavyweight division this year. Prior to their jump in weight class, Benavidez and Morrel were thought of as the super middleweight division's top two contenders to Canelo Alvarez's undisputed title.
A lot of amateur fights. He was very amateur, had an amateur career. He had a lot of fights and...
Tired of waiting on a shot at Alvarez, both fighters moved up in weight this year. Benavidez defeated former world champion Alexander Gvozdyk by unanimous decision in June to claim his first win at the weight, while Morrel picked up a unanimous decision win over Radivoje Kaladzic in August in his 175-pound debut. Now the two hard-hitting knockout artists will face each other in a pay-per-view headliner.
He's young, strong, and he he's gonna come with everything. So I think David's gonna get the best out of him. I mean, take the best out of him and push him to.
Benavidez is a two-time former world champion, having twice been stripped of his title outside of the ring, once for missing weight and another for a positive drug test. Benavidez is ranked number 3 at light heavyweight by The Ring and ESPN, and that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.